Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into The Female Brain by Louann Brizendine, a luminary in the field of neuroscience. Embark on a journey through the intricate landscape of the female mind as this enlightening book reveals how a constellation of hormones influences the development and nuances of women's behavior throughout their lives. Louann Brizendine brings her expertise as a researcher, professor, and clinician to the table, offering readers a fascinating glimpse into the neuroscience behind the cycles that define the female experience. Having authored multiple acclaimed books, including The Male Brain, and serving as the muse for the 2017 film adaptation of The Female Brain, Brizendine's insights are grounded in both scientific rigor and broad cultural relevance. This book is essential reading for anyone possessing or curious about the female brain, from those seeking a deeper understanding of their own neurological underpinnings to biology enthusiasts interested in the dynamic interplay between hormones and behavior. It also serves as a valuable resource for individuals who interact with women in their personal or professional lives, providing clarity and insight into the female psyche. Tune in to uncover the mysteries of the female brain and enhance your appreciation for the complex, hormone-driven narratives that shape the lives of women around the world. The Female Brain, a comprehensive new look at what makes us women. Introduction. Unveiling the mysteries of the female brain. A journey through hormones and life stages. Imagine stepping into a realm where your very perceptions and emotions are choreographed by chemical messengers coursing through your veins. This is the world women navigate, their brains sculpted and fine-tuned by the ebb and flow of hormones. The path-breaking work of Louann Brizendine, a pioneer in understanding the female brain, casts a long-awaited spotlight on this extraordinary neurological journey. Brizendine's quest began when she noticed a glaring gap in neuroscience, a lack of attention to the female brain. The default subject for brain studies was male, largely due to a bias that deemed the hormonal fluctuations in women too complex to warrant scientific exploration. Determined to dispel this oversight, Brizendine embarked on a crusade that led her to establish a clinic dedicated to the study of the female brain, culminating in the groundbreaking book, The Female Brain. In the chapters ahead, we'll dive deep into the potent influence of hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and oxytocin, the orchestrators of the female brain's development from the cradle to the golden years. We'll peel back the layers of how these hormones intertwine with pivotal life stages, from the tenderness of infancy to the sunset of old age, and reveal how they shape perceptions, behaviors, and emotions. This narrative isn't just about the wiring beneath the skull. It's about integrating the findings with culture and personal identity. It's a story where chemistry meets psychology, where biological blueprints mingle with environment and experience. So join us on this enlightening journey inside the female brain, where we will decode the biological symphony that creates the rich and vibrant tapestry of female life. Part 1. The early tapestry of the mind, from womb to childhood wonder. Let's journey to the intricate beginning of life, a time when the architecture of the brain is first being sketched out. In the hushed sanctuary of the womb, the nascent brain begins its existence with a feminine blueprint. For the initial 8 weeks, the brain is indistinguishable between male and female, a universal start to a highly individualized life. Then, at a critical juncture, a cascade of hormones like testosterone or estrogen washes over the developing brain, sending it on divergent paths. For those destined to be female, estrogen's influx shapes not only the body, but also the very structure of the brain. This hormonal embrace will persist and nurture the brain until it blooms into the complexities of the female mind. Imagine the world through the eyes of a female child in her first year. Her reality is steep in the richness of estrogen, similar to that found in a fully grown woman. This hormonal immersion cultivates a garden of neurons within her brain's communication centers, laying the foundation for a future rife with words and conversation. As a tiny observer, she is already finely attuned to the subtleties of emotion, reading the silent language of facial expressions, especially those of her caregivers. Her gaze, long and inquiring, seeks meaning in the faces she encounters. When the time comes for her to speak, she does so expecting engagement, undeterred by her nascent vocabulary. Emotion sings to her not just through words but through the melodies of voices around her. Her first steps into the world are marked by a distinction from her male counterparts, whose early days are less about communication and more preoccupied with movement and discovery, thanks to high testosterone levels. However, as the candles on her birthday cake multiply, her hormone levels, like those in boys, will retreat into a tranquil stream. During the reprieve of this hormone hiatus, which stretches until puberty's awakening, children of both genders will exhibit similar bodily attributes. Yet, within the labyrinth of the brain, their paths remain distinct. Throughout her excursion from toddling to tween years, the seeds sown by estrogen will continue to flourish. A girl's burgeoning brain will nurture her capacity for language and emotional memory, weaving intricate patterns through her interactions and observations. It's as if she is surrounded by a canvas, brushed with her thoughts and feelings, capturing the essence of her world in a relentless stream of dialogue and recollection. Those early years of girlhood might seem an eternity of stability, an undisturbed sea of constancy. Yet, as dawn always breaks into day, these years of hormone calm herald the onset of a looming crescendo. Puberty awaits on the horizon, prepared to unfurl seismic shifts within her, stirring the waters of her once placid world. It's a tumultuous rite of passage, not the falling of skies, but an evolution into another realm of female existence. Part 2. Embracing the whirlwind, the seismic shift of female puberty. Cast your mind to the cusp of transformation, where a girl's journey ventures into new territory. This is the theater of puberty, a time of dramatic reawakening. As the curtain rises, the spotlight shines on estrogen, not just an invisible hand guiding early development, but also the maestro of sexual maturation. Alongside, progesterone joins the symphony, crafting a duet that will stir the depths of her being. This is no mere crescendo. Puberty is a profound metamorphosis. A girl's developing brain feels the pull of these hormonal tides, reshaping her hippocampus, which plays a crucial role in memory and learning. Her amygdala, the crucible of emotions, is also touched, sensitizing her even more to the emotional undercurrents of her environment. With the hormonal ebb and flow, her responses to stress spiral in a new dance. Bathed in estrogen, she moves through life with a sense of confidence, her social nature blooming. Yet, as progesterone rises, she may find herself cocooning, her brain marinating in stress hormones that conjure irritability and withdrawal, the underpinnings of premenstrual turmoil. The under-construction prefrontal cortex, yet to fully come online, leaves her without the full suite of neurological brakes necessary to halt hasty decisions. Estrogen beckons her towards sociability and connection, while progesterone lurks, ready to splash cortisol into the mix, heightening her stress responses and darkening her mood. It's as though she's hitched a ride on an unseen roller coaster, guided by the invisible tracks of her hormonal cycles. Yet in this hormonal maelstrom, allies emerge. Oxytocin, often dubbed the cuddle hormone, flourishes under estrogen's nurturance, enhancing the rewards of social engagement and deepening connections. Dopamine, the harbinger of pleasure, amplifies the delight she derives from conversations and companionship. The adolescent ebbs of oxytocin can render her emotionally bereft when a friend's call goes unanswered, akin to a sensory withdrawal. This social ache is but one thread in the broader tapestry of puberty, which also expresses itself through the sculpting of her body into newfound curves, sparking a blend of intrigue and bewilderment as she navigates the world's gaze. Her tight-knit circles of friends morph into bastions of safety and solidarity. Even her patterns of slumber bow to the whims of hormonal influence, transforming a once predictable sleeper into a nocturnal being, struggling through daylight hours. As the stage of puberty evolves, the stakes escalate further. The burgeoning body, paired with an evolving brain, raises the temperature on the already simmering pot of adolescence. The aria of the romantic brain approaches, ready to sweep her into the intoxicating waltz of maturity and romance. Part 3. Love, Lust, and the Hormonal Dance of Adulthood. Embark on the odyssey of the adult female brain, where the tapestry of emotions, once tenderly woven through adolescence, is now ready to unravel in the full spectrum of adult passion and complexity. The hormonal ride that began with puberty intensifies as she steps onto the stage of adulthood, steering her through an even wider range of emotional highs and lows. Throughout her teenage years, her brain's pleasure centers have been kindled, lit up by the oxytocin and dopamine secrets shared among friends, perhaps a natural prelude to the intricate ballet of adult romance and attachment. Yet nature plays its own capricious games. As young women are primed by hormonal cadences for verbal and emotional intimacy with romantic interest, their male counterparts march to a different tune. A surge in testosterone during puberty primes young men for aggression, competitiveness, and a penchant for action over conversation. With such divergent neurological wiring, the age-old narrative of men from Mars, women from Venus finds a foothold in biological reality. This dissonance, unbeknownst to many couples, can fuel conflicts and misunderstandings as they grapple with their inherently contrasting methods of connection. In the grand hormonal symphony, the ensemble of androgens, including testosterone, plays a subtle but significant role in both genders. This group of hormones courses through young women in monthly rhythms, sparking shifts leading from skin breakouts to the flames of rebellion. But it is their stirring of the embers of desire and the thrill of competition that really marks the shift into a new realm of sexual dynamics. The androgen uprising ignites an increasing sexual drive, and in the landscape of the female brain, influenced also by estrogen, competition becomes an undercurrent, sometimes even edging towards romantic rivalry. While testosterone strikes the match of lust, the entwined harmony of estrogen and progesterone, replete with oxytocin and dopamine rewards, compels the female brain toward the pursuit of intimacy. This pursuit can sometimes lead to the paradox of desiring closeness even within harmful relationships. The withdrawal from this heady cocktail of feel-great hormones in the aftermath of a relationship can leave emotional aftershocks that reverberate longer than those in her younger years. As she rides the crests and troughs of hormonal waves, compounded by stress or loss, the adult female brain may reach for the solace of sweet treats, unwittingly in search of a dopamine fix. Navigating the tumultuous seas of dating, desire, and exploration, the effect these hormone-fueled dynamics have on the brain is not unlike the powerful grip of drug addiction. Yet, when the female brain encounters true love, the narrative takes a transformative turn. It is here, at this juncture, where the intricate mechanics of hormones lead to new chapters of bonding, commitment, and emotional equilibrium. Part 4. The Tranquil Seas of Partnership. When romance morphs into enduring union. Imagine, if you will, peering into the inner cosmos of the female brain during the throes of dating. Each message, each tender moment with a romantic prospect sends a celebratory flare through her pleasure centers, akin to a dazzling display of festive lights. The mere buzz of a new message notification sends a thrill of dopamine through her system, a mere spark next to the wildfire ignited by deep conversation and encounters. Alongside this neurochemical festivity, oxytocin, the architect of attachment, gradually builds its presence. The potent influence of this hormone entwines with every touch, every shared gaze, deepening the bond as if laying down emotional roots. and this cascade of connection is subtly guided by her cycle, waxing and waning in sensitivity with the rhythm of hormones. But understanding the command oxytocin has over our sense of closeness can be eye-opening. Its release does not discriminate between wise and unwise bonds. It simply fosters trust. For instance, investors dosed with oxytocin become more generous, their brains' trust circuits switched on with complete disregard to the logic of the decision. Thus, a hug can inadvertently bewitch us into misplaced trust, coaxing us to swallow words without a grain of skepticism, even when caution is warranted. Yet, when romantic engagements evolve into unwavering intimacy, the dynamic shifts considerably. Where the dating brain was once a tempest of emotional highs akin to lightning strikes, the committed brain settles into calmer waters. The extremes dissipate, replaced by a warm and consistent gentle glow within the pleasure centers, a lull in the storm. This transition may initially feel as though the relationship is regressing, yet it signifies a return to equilibrium. The heady, almost addictive rush of dopamine that marks new romance gives way to sustainability. The fireworks may diminish, but the romance endures, now enshrined in stability. For those entrenched in a relationship beyond its initial fervor, take heed. The quirks once perceived as charming may now chafe. This is merely your brain's pleasure centers yielding to the clearer light of critical thought. The changes are within, not without. Your partner herein remains the same. While the roller coaster of romance steadies, the hormonal odyssey is far from over. The potential voyage into motherhood beckons, with its own hormonal revolutions, and on the distant horizon looms the transformative phase of menopause. Each stage beckons with its own promise and challenges, as the ever-evolving female brain navigates the rich complexities of life's stages. Part 5. Navigating the maternal metamorphosis, the adaptation of the mom brain. Embark upon one of the most profound transitions in a woman's life, the journey of pregnancy and motherhood, an epoch that redefines her being down to her very neural fibers. During this time, the landscape of the female brain is subject to an avalanche of transformations, sculpted by the relentless forces of nature's hormones. With the advent of pregnancy, the surges of progesterone are pivotal, orchestrating a symphony of physical alterations, from swelling and tenderness to an insatiable appetite and thirst. Yet this hormone's influence is not confined to the corporeal realm. It seeps into the cognitive, shrouding her thoughts in a mist of fatigue and distraction, turning her senses into hyper-alert sentinels that may betray her with queasiness at the mere whiff of strong scents. Yet, this same sensitivity insulates her against the sharp edges of stress, wrapping her consciousness in a cocoon of calm. Counterintuitive as it may seem, within the blossoming body of pregnancy, the brain itself undergoes a curious contraction. It's as though it is clearing the deck, priming itself for the monumental task ahead. But fear not. This does not signify a diminution of mental prowess. Instead, her brain is streamlining, marshalling its resources with an acumen that far exceeds its pre-pregnancy state. Childbirth is the zenith of these neural upheavals, her brain bathed in a deluge of oxytocin that not only triggers lactation, but also armors her against the agony of labor. The afterglow of giving birth may be a potent cocktail of elation, vulnerability, and a spectrum of raw emotions. The oxytocin surge does not merely facilitate birth, it lays the cornerstones of maternal bonding, an unspoken intrinsic connection with her newborn. She becomes a connoisseur of her baby's every signal, from scent to cry, etching a profound attachment deep into her psyche. Separation, even brief, can seem as if she's being deprived of a vital piece of herself, triggering a sensation akin to withdrawal. Transforming beyond the nurturing, her maternal instinct sharpens into protectiveness, the emergence of the mama bear archetype, steeped in hormonal shifts. This fierce guardianship carries with it the seeds of evolutionary success, a nurturing paradigm that heralds the growth of thriving, resilient offspring. Thus, as she embarks on the odyssey of motherhood, she's not simply caring for her young, she's being reshaped by nature's grand design, a purposeful alteration ensuring the perpetuation of life's most fundamental cycle. Part 6. The Wisdom of Change. Embracing the Evolution Through Menopause. As the curtain rises on another transformative chapter in the odyssey of the female brain, we find it seasoned by the flux of life's earlier passages: puberty, adulthood, motherhood. Now it approaches the crossroads of maturity, where the relentless tides of hormonal change converge once more, this time ushering in the era of menopause. Throughout her life, the female brain has been sculpted by the ebb and flow of hormones, a relentless sculptor carving out pathways of nurturing and emotional acuity. As she matures, her brain's faculties of critical thinking and analysis have been honed to a fine edge, blossoming into a reservoir of wisdom and integration. This maturation often manifests in the archetypal transformation of the perimenopausal woman, wherein one morning she may rise with a newfound resolve to reshape her life anew. The nurturing circuitry, once amplified by estrogen and oxytocin, is dialing back, clearing the stage for her to assert her needs with a clarity and confidence that she's held in reserve. Menopause, that definitive milestone marked 1 year after her final ovulation, invites her brain back to the stable hormone levels reminiscent of her youth. Yet, this steadiness does not herald stagnation. On the contrary, it bestows upon her a penetrating focus and spirited lucidity, the serene aftermath of hormonal storms weathered through the years. Yet some may skirt the precipice of a stark decline in testosterone, a drop that could dampen desire and dim the spark of libido. But let this not be mistaken for a dwindling of love or fervor for her partner. It is but a hormonal puzzle that, when pieced together through medical intervention, can rekindle the embers of passion. From the initial flicker of life to the serene grace of postmenopause, the female brain endures metamorphoses designed for adaptation. To the individual, these sea changes might have masqueraded as the turmoil of adolescence, the misadventures of dating, the strains of marriage, or an undercurrent of self-doubt. Yet these stirrings were the intricate choreography of hormones interlaced with the growth of the brain, the embodiment of nature's primal urges. In the halcyon days post-menopause, the female brain reaches a plateau of release, liberated to manifest the full spectrum of her identity, to give voice to the aspirations still simmering within. She thus becomes a bastion of insight for society, her intimate knowledge of the female brain's seasons, equipping her with a perspective reverberating with wisdom. Her acumen, acquired over the arc of a lifetime, stands as a beacon, enriching her family, her community, and the tapestry of human understanding well into the golden years of her existence. Final summary. Our exploration arrives at a profound understanding, the intricate choreography of the female brain, from the dawn of life to the twilight of maturity, orchestrated by the unwavering influence of hormones. This biological symphony, with estrogen and progesterone at the helm, navigates through the convoluted phases of human development, from the awakening of puberty through the layers of adulthood into the serene wisdom of advanced years. These hormonal maestros do not merely dwell in the background, they take center stage, directing not just physical growth, but the nuanced spectrum of behaviors and emotions experienced by those living with a female brain. The transformations triggered by these chemical signals may often seem abrupt, upending, and deeply personal. Yet, it's vital to recognize that these swells and shifts are not whims of the psyche, but the echoes of a deeply grounded biological process. Understanding the potent role these hormones play is not just enlightening, it's emancipating. For women and those around them, comprehending the profound impact of these hormones offers a roadmap to navigate life's tumultuous waters. As we pull back the veil on the mysteries of the female brain, we can approach these natural changes not as daunting forces, but as rhythms to be harmonized with. This clarity empowers individuals to steer through hormonal currents with insight and grace, taking the helm of their biological destiny. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.